Hi, David Odell here with Odell Complete Concrete. This is our first day on this job site. However, I've been here in this particular parking lot on many occasions doing patches of concrete that was collapsing. On the previous video, we were giving away some trowel set, Marshalltown trowel sets, and we have the winners. The winners are Art Perez and Nathan Platt. So send me the emails on your contact info, and I'll get it over to Marshalltown. Congratulations. Here we are unloading the skidster now. We have the breaker attachment sitting in the bucket there. Once I get the package on the ground, then I'll disconnect the front bucket, hook up the breaker attachment, and get down to business. So we just used the Milwaukee battery-powered cutoff saw, 9-inch blade. That was the first thing we used there. And we'll be giving that away in a future video. So there's the section we're removing right there. We have two sections in this parking lot we will be removing. This is one of them. The other one has some curb on it that we're going to put back. This one had a little rebar sticking into the end there, some rebar dowels. So we're going to try to salvage those so we don't have to re-drill in those locations to put the new dowels. We'll just utilize the old dowels in that location. Then we'll drill all the way around the perimeter. We'll go every 4 foot, put a 1/2-inch dowel. Because this concrete we're putting in a little bit deeper because there's some trash trucks that come in here. There's some school buses that come in here. So we're going to go 6 inches deep. And we're going to go with a high PSI 3250 city mix. Also, we'll be using another tool on this job that we're going to be giving away, and it's a power screed. Made by Tomahawk. It comes in from 8 foot. It comes with an 8-foot blade, the one I'll be using here, and the one I'll be giving away. It also has a 10, a 12, and a 14-foot blade for screeding you can attach on it. We'll show how to use that during the pour as well. Here's the curb I was talking about we're removing. What was happening here is the buses, big trucks, trailers were cutting this corner, driving over this raised planter bed here, and driving the curb into the ground. So it was completely crushed down. So we're going to relocate the sprinklers. We're going to push them into the middle of the planter, and then we're going to put a 45-degree angle curb here. That way we get a little bit more turning radius. The initial curb was only about 4 inches below top of slab. We're going to go about 8 inches below top of slab, and then we're going to do a monolithic pour with the curb and a portion of the parking lot. So instead of an independent curb, it's going to be a part of the parking lot, which is all going to be 6 to 8 inches thick. Plus we're going to dowel in, and that's what you see happening there with the roto hammer, drilling into the edges of the slab. That way we can put some 1/2-inch dowels in there, and when they drive over it again, hopefully it won't crush it down. The funny thing about it, I went back here on the second day after we did pour the job just to check it out, and I noticed that they were doing some construction work across the street, an asphalt company, it looked to me like, resurfacing. They had a trailer on the back of their 8-yard dump, which makes it pretty long with the trailer. And they cut the corner on this because you can see the tire tracks going through the planter bed. But the good news is it didn't affect it. And they had a bobcat on the back of the trailer as well. So this concrete held up well. It wasn't even cured out, and it didn't get affected by the dump truck and trailer going over it. So pretty confident in this particular system I came up with here. Now what we're doing there is we're forming up the curb itself. It starts out basically in the same shape that it was previously, but then we're going to cut it off in a 45-degree angle, 7 feet in from each corner of the existing parking lot. And that gives me the 45 that we discussed and that we want to do here. Also, instead of running a 2x12 at back of curb there, as you can see, I used the 2x6 because I actually want the concrete to kind of flange out to give me a bigger footprint, which means more support. So I'll let it come out. It'll lock in those steel stakes. I'll pull the steel stakes when it's fresh, and you'll see all that when we do the pour. Here we are. I happen to have a head cam on, and you can see how erratic that is. But right now I'm dumping the fiber mesh into the concrete truck. And that's how you do it. You just dump it in. What I do though is I bring the concrete to the back of the truck just before it drops down the chute, and then when I dump the fiber, I'm actually dumping it on top of the concrete. And then I turn the concrete back down into the barrel and mix it up. That way you don't get a lot of fiber stuck on the fins. It actually gets dumped direct. Here's the tool we're giving away right here, the Tomahawk Power Screed. It vibrates and it screeds at the same time. So it's knocking. This is big rock too. So instead of me having to use a tamp or a roller tamp, jitterbug, this does it all in one pass. It rods it and it knocks the rock down. It brings up the cream. So after I get done doing this, it's ready to bowl float. As you can see here, I'm just bowl floating it after I use the power screed. So it works really well depending on the size of your job and how you have your screed set up. But that 8 foot right there, that's the 8 foot system. That means you need about 8 foot or 7 foot of boards or guides on each side. And they go all the way up to 14. So depending on the side, like say if you're doing some sidewalks that's 7 or 8 feet, you know, that would be perfect. Now here we are on the other section, pouring it back. I already have the forms all oiled up. I used the mobile one, 100% synthetic used out of my truck, cut with a little bit of diesel fuel just so I could spray it. The way this is formed up, see the 2x4 on top of the concrete there, I drilled that in with some 3/16 inch tap cons. And those tap cons I've used for many years over and over and over for this kind of stuff. I've got, I think, 2 tap cons in each little run on that's doweled into the concrete existing slab. Now it's strip time. This is only about an hour and a half after we've placed it, because we got that good concrete mix, 3250. With no fly ash, of course. It goes off. No bleed water to speak of. It just sets up. So on that one portion of the curb, it has a batter on it, so I had to actually find the right tool to fit that batter, which I fortunately had in my truck. I have a 90, and then I have a couple different cove and top tools with batters, so it's just a matter of finding the right fit. This portion is just a 90 degree. I think this one's a 90, so I have a different top tool for this. You can see all the cream on this. easy to pull up and move it wherever you want. It really takes a lot of the work out of the process when you have a good mix. Without a good mix, you're going to be struggling a lot more getting what you really want to look at. Now this is just off the top of my head cam right here. Gives you a pretty close up. There's one of the tools that I'll be giving away in the Marshalltown finishing set. And that's the top tool with a 1/2 inch radius. Now I'm just running that 5 inch by 12 inch. Since it's a 6 inch high curb and that's a 5 inch wide trowel, it's really ideal for faces like this. Now there's the bottom tool, Cove, running. You got the 6 inch wide edger on the back of curb. And that's how you run them. Real simple. I ran that back just for fun. You don't really have to typically because it's going to get backfilled anyway, but you know, I was getting kind of bored. It was a small pour. Let me know out there, how do you like the head cam shots? Because you get a lot of close-ups with it, looks like. So now we've already pulled all the vertical stakes on back of curb because it was locked into the concrete because the concrete mushroomed out the bottom. Now we're able to strip it and backfill. The concrete's already broomed. Or it may not be broomed at this point, but in any case, it's finished. Probably waiting on the broom. Now we're backfilling, transplant a couple plants. Here's the broom process. That's the 50% horsehair, 50% nylon combo broom. And you can see how nice this concrete finish looks here. And the only way you can really get that is with the ingredients you start with. It's like, trying to make a ribeye out of a chuck. You just can't do it. So if you get a ribeye to start with, that's what you end with. But if you get some, not a good quality concrete mix, there's not a whole lot you can do. Except struggle. Yeah, here's the Tomahawk sprayer. Same company that did the Screed, Power Screed. We're going to be giving that away too in a video real soon. That's concrete curing compound I sprayed on there. What that does is it holds the moisture into the concrete. It's kind of like a sealer. So that this way the moisture doesn't evaporate out of the concrete as quickly. The concrete inevitably will cure out much harder. I sprayed the back of curb as well. Since I pulled that form off early, I just sprayed everything to really lock it in. Here's where we're at, Fountain Valley Skating Center. which I've been to a lot throughout my youth. Anyway, thank you for watching and have a good day.